We got another good one today, guys. We're going to be looking at the D9 Pro Smart Diagnosis System by Xtool. Normally I do these scan tool reviews in the front seat of my truck, and we're going to go out to the truck, but this kit is pretty large, so we're going to start off at the table here, and then we'll move to the truck. We're not going to take too much time here in the shop, but let's just get the box open. I'll show you what it all comes with, and then we'll get out to the truck. And then from there, we're going to go out to, we're going to start in the 2006 GMC truck, and then we'll move from there to a 2008 Crown Victoria. So you can see this being used in two different makes, two different models. So I'll get the box open and we'll take a look. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you take it out of the cardboard carton. We'll get it spun around here and we'll get it opened up. So this is what it looks like when you first get it open. You got the owner's manual. In here is this, underneath this other wrapper, there's an activation code and a serial number and whatnot. Keep that covered up. You got the VCI. You've got the cable that connects to from the VCI to the OBDII port on the vehicle. This connects on to here. And then this other end connects to the vehicle. And that's just, then from here it's wireless to the scan tool. You got the scan tool itself. It's a 9.7-inch screen. Let's get this turned on. And while that's turning on, let's take a look and see what else is in the kit. You got a bunch of, obviously, desiccant packs. This is a USB Type A to Type B cable. And what's nice is on this VCI, if for whatever reason you lose Bluetooth connection or Bluetooth stops working, you can plug this this USB cable into here, and the other end of this goes into the USB-A port on the scan tool, and you can use it as a wired connection. And I have tried that, and it does work. So that's nice. You got a backup, so that works good. And then in here, you got just a bunch of adapters. Let me reposition here. So in here you've got, well, of course, here's the charger. I put a label on there. I've put a label on there so I can keep track of with all my other chargers. But that's the charger. And then in here is just a bunch of adapters to go to, like, you know, obviously here in North America, everything we have is OBDII. And so it's just this one plug. But evidently in other foreign countries, they're still using different plugs for different makes and models. And what's nice is, you know, back before the OBDII standard, when we had OBDII, you know, every vehicle had a different plug-in on it. And like this one here, this is a GM/Daewoo. Now you could plug that into an OBDII port on a GM car from 1995 or older, and potentially, you know, get some OBDII data from that vehicle. So these extra plugs are nice. It's certainly handy to have, and just in case you never know what's going to come through the shop, and it just gives you extra options to work with. So let's get this closed back up. Going to try and keep the glare off this, but we'll finish taking a look at the tool and then we'll go straight out to the vehicles. So on top here you've got essentially is an Ethernet port for a data cable. This scan tool supports DoIP, which stands for Diagnostics over Internet Protocol. So if you're looking for a scan tool to future-proof yourself to the new technologies coming out, this scan tool is DoIP compatible, and the newer CAN FD protocols also it's compatible with. It's got a USB-A port. It's got a port for the old style of data connection. It's got the charging port, and it's got an on-off button. This red thing is just a thumb pad. And then down here, it appears that these are electrical connectors for some sort of a dock to put the tool in. However, Xtool doesn't show anything about a dock on their website, but if they made a dock to put this in, kind of like some of the bigger Autel scan tools, man, that would be really nice. And then, of course, it has a kickstand on the back. Love the kickstands, and there's an 8-megapixel camera on the back. That's about it. Let's take it out to the truck and start playing with it. All right, guys. We're out in the 2006 GMC truck, and I just want to show you on the VCI here. I've got it plugged into the data port. It shows the current voltage, and it's got a couple of other logos on there. This one here is the Bluetooth, and there's a check mark below it, meaning it's paired with the scan tool. And over here it shows a USB cord. And like I said earlier, you can actually connect the USB cable to this, from this to the scan tool. And so there's a circle with a line through it. If you were using this as a wired setup, you'd have a check mark there. But I just wanted to show you that real quick. And then now let's get into the scan tool. Okay, so this Xtool scan tool has the same menu and same user interface as the other Xtool scan tools that I've reviewed, like the D8, the D7, the A30M. It is different than the A30 Pro because that's a different device, but this functions the same way. The look and the layout is the same if you're familiar with the other Xtools. And before we get too far, I want to go over a couple of things here. I'll put this page up on screen so you guys can see it as I'm reading along here. So the Xtool D9 and D9 Pro comes with 3 years of free software updates and make and model updates. It comes with a 2-year manufacturer warranty. It has a 9.7-inch touchscreen, a 1.8 gigahertz quad-core processor. It has 2 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of storage. It's a 10,000 milliamp hour battery. It has 2.4 and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. It has an 8 megapixel camera on the back. It has a built-in speaker. This scan tool has the intelligent topology map, like some of the other high-end scan tools have nowadays. It's compatible with the newer DoIP and CAN FD protocols. And so that's really a big thing. And if you think about it, if you put the fact that this has the newer capabilities of the DoIP and the CAN FD protocols, along with the fact that it has 3 years of free updates, you know, as these newer technologies come out, you're going to be able to get those updates. You know, if you bought the tool in 2002, you're going to be able to get those updates for 3 years as that technology becomes more and more prevalent. And also the tech support email is supporting@xtooltech.com. So if you're ever running one of these scan tools and you come across a feature or a function that you know should work with that particular vehicle you're plugged into, and it's not working on this scan tool, a simple email, and they can usually get that patched up pretty quick. You go into your update section, hit the updates, download their new patch, and bam, you'll be up and running. So they try their best to satisfy everybody. And then also I printed a sheet taken right from the online owner's manual with a few more technical specs for you to see. So we're in the 2006 GMC truck. I've already got the VCI plugged in. And so, for example, let's go into diagnose. Let's go into, even though I've already been hooked up, we'll go to VIN. We'll hit auto scan. I want to show you guys the new topology map that Xtool has implemented on this new scan tool. Yes, 4-button selectable, manual. Let's see, up level, under 8600, rear drum brake. Okay, and we'll go to auto diagnose. Now here's the topology map. This gives you kind of a visual of how all the modules are connected together, kind of the hierarchy, if you will. I guess maybe that's not the right word, but it kind of gives you of how they all are connected and can talk together. Like here's a picture of the OBDII port, and then that's how they're all kind of interconnected. It's a map of how they all lay out here. Be interesting to see. I haven't scanned this truck now for a while, and the battery was dead the other day, so I'm sure there's some codes on here because of that. Yeah, I don't drive this truck every day, and the battery's less than a year old, and it does not have a charging problem, but evidently I either have a drain or I'll have to do some testing. I either have a parasitic drain or maybe just a bad battery. But as you can see, it's scanning each module that's in this truck. And if it's green, down here tells you what all the different colors are. If it's green, it's normal. If it's red, it's got a malfunction. If it's gray, it means there's no response. and so it's still scanning. Okay, so now on this, it says there's no response from these grayed out modules, and I don't know if that's a problem with my truck. This topology is fairly new to me. I don't know if that means there's a problem with my truck, or maybe that's a module this particular model of truck doesn't have. You know, different luxury levels of vehicles have more stuff than others, and maybe this is some stuff that my truck just doesn't have. But like right here, it says you can just click on that. Powertrain, diagnose, read trouble code, engine oil pressures. Okay, well, that's been a problem with this truck, and even in several of my other scan tool videos. I know this truck has a bad oil pressure sensor. It's either at 80 psi or 0 psi. I have the part, I just haven't put it in yet. So then we can go back to the topology map. And we can go down here to radio. Same thing. This truck's had problems with the like I say, I think it's some speakers. I got some blown speakers. Don't know if that's it or not, but radio still works, so I'm good with it. But that's the topology map. You can just go into each module that way and either get live data. You got actuation tests. You know, you can put the windows up and down. Turn the rear defogger on and off. This thing has full bidirectional control. So basically, if the software in the vehicle allows something to be controlled by the scan tool, then this scan tool should be able to do it. And then you can switch back and forth between the topology view or the old school traditional list style view like we're all used to. But the topology is nice. I think that's pretty slick. But let's go back. No, we want to go to diagnose. We can do live data like any other scan tool that has live data. This will show all live data on all modules in the vehicle. So again, like I've mentioned in other videos, you know, if the computer in the vehicle has a data PID that it's monitoring, then it will display somewhere in your live data. Now, it cannot display a live data PID that doesn't exist already within the vehicle. And I've said this before. People ask, you know, questions like, will this scan tool display transmission temperature? Well, if transmission temperature is a data PID already monitored by your computer in your vehicle, then this scan tool should show it. If that's not a data PID that was programmed from the factory to be in the vehicle's computer to begin with, then there's no way the scan tool can display it. We'll look at actuation tests, transmission. So you can shift this thing as you're driving the vehicle down the road. Instead of moving the gear shifter, you can shift this thing up and down with the scan tool. We'll check out the actuation test for under the engine module. Turn the AC on and off. Now, it's a warm day out today, so I've got the air conditioning turned on. I don't know if you can hear that in the background. Sorry if you can hear that. Turn the fuel pump on and off. Fuel gauge, evap solenoid, turn the fan relays on and off. And like I've said before, this is just what can be done on this vehicle. You know, some vehicles have way more control. Some vehicles have much less control. But on a 2006 GMC SL, I think it's an SLE, four-wheel drive truck, these are the actuation tests available on this particular model. But then we can also go into special functions, do fuel trim reset, fuel trim enable, service bay tests. Let's look at that. It's an evap test, misfire graphic, crankshaft variation learn, the throttle system. We can adjust, turn the engine idle up and down. So I'm going to hit the increase button, and you can watch the engine RPM there. You probably can't hear that in the background, but it is slowly going up in RPM. And you can just keep going. I mean, you can hit this button as fast as you want, but the truck will only respond so fast. And then we can go out of there, and it should drop back down. Yep, it dropped back down. Fuel composition reset. Again, not all vehicles are going to have that, but there was a problem in this era of GM vehicle where the fuel composition in the computer is kind of a learned percentage. And when the computer gets confused, the only way to fix it is to reset it. So GM programmed the computer to have that functionality, and the scan tool sees that, so it gives you the option. Some other vehicles probably won't have that. So over here you got the special functions, all the different functions that we're used to seeing on this type of menu. Oil reset, throttle, parking brake, steering angle, key programming, gear learning, TPMS reset, tire upgrade, transport mode, air fuel reset, seat match, ABS bleeding, windows, airbag, language change. Not all of these are going to work on all vehicles. Just like I've said before, for example, DPF. This is a gas truck. It doesn't have a diesel particulate filter. Another one would be electric parking brake. This truck has a cable-operated parking brake. So not every feature is going to work on every vehicle. And then we've got one-touch updates. I'm away from the Wi-Fi right now, but here's where your updates would come in. You just click the ones you want, hit go, and it downloads and installs them. It's pretty simple. Let's click on more. You got goes right to Xtool, goes to their website. Or you go into the endoscope, plug in an endoscope through the USB cable up here, and you can view the scope. Again, remote control. Here's where you would allow somebody from Xtool to remote into your device, and they could see what you see, and they could help you, diagnose something or help you with a problem with the scan tool itself. Auto scan. As you can see, this scan tool works just like all the other Xtool scan tools. It just has a little bit more functionality than the little bit lower end ones. This one's going to have everything. It's going to have everything that whatever vehicle you plug it into, if it can be done with a scan tool, this scan tool pretty much will do everything. Let's go switch vehicles and give this a try on the Ford Crown Victoria, the old police car. All right, guys, here we are in a 2008 Ford Crown Victoria P71. It's an ex-squad car. It's only been a split second for you guys, but for me it's been a couple hours since we were in the GMC pickup because, well, today is one of our first warm days here this spring, and I haven't driven this car much, and since I bought it last fall, and, well, I had to go take out all my air conditioning charging equipment, my scale, my charging scale, the manifold gauge set, my vacuum pump, my everything for charging air conditioning, because if I'm going to sit in this car and do a review on a scan tool, well, then I want to make sure that it's nice and cool in here. Anyhow, now that we got the AC working, I think last time we went in through the auto scan and the pickup, so this time let's go in directly through diagnosis here. You can pick vehicles by region. So we'll go into America, Ford USA. Common special functions. Now on the other Xtool scan tools, this didn't pop up on the Ford. So let's see what this is before we go any farther. Okay, so it's just your common oil life reset, battery reset, that type of thing. Most of this doesn't pertain to this vehicle, like replace brake pads. This doesn't have electronic brakes and stuff in it. So anyway, let's go to automatic detection. Crown Victoria. Okay. And we can go, let's see what programming customization is. This is what's kind of special about this particular tool on a Ford. Installation of programmable modules. scan through the different modules. So if you had to replace a module, driver's door module, lighting control module, restraint control module, you'd be able to program it to put it into this vehicle. These are the ones that it found by looking automatically. Let's go to manual selection. It's the same ones. So programmable, let's see what the programmable parameter is. Passenger seat reset to 0 like it is in the GMC truck. Pneumatic test, this is an old squad car, so it doesn't have air suspension. Electric door lock, let's see what that is. Electric door lock, automatic lock. Otherwise we got police mode, lock confirmation. I'm not sure what that is. And enunciator. Not sure what that is. I'm not sure what that is, and I don't really want to ruin anything. Like I said, this is a police car, and I've had to enable some features with forescan, so I'm not sure if this particular vehicle is the best example for that. We'll go back here. We can go into service, powertrain, chassis, or body. Go into powertrain. Of course, we got tire pressure, transmission, power balance. Reset powertrain control module, keep alive memory. That's nice. Like I've mentioned on the GMC truck, that one had a specific reset function for the learned fuel alcohol composition, and this one doesn't have a special reset for that, but if you needed to reset that, you just reset the keep alive memory. You can go to chassis, braking. There's your service brake bleed, suspension, precise correction test. Like I said, this is an old squad car, so it doesn't have air suspension. Go into body, restraints, reset of passenger system over there, security, factory keyless entry code. This car doesn't have factory keyless entry. It was a police car, so. And then there's the PATS. Yeah, I don't want to start that because I'm not sure if I want to get into that. But it's there if you need it. And we can go into system selection. Here's all the different modules in the vehicle. You can, just like any other vehicle, you got powertrain, analog brakes, restraint control module, instrument, cluster, so on and so forth. Go to powertrain. And again, one of the, like I showed on the D7 versus D8 comparison video, the big difference between the lower level and the higher level scan tools is the lower to mid level only have the actuation test. The higher level scan tools have the special functions. So we can remove transmission adaptive tables, halt transmission learning, resume transmission learning, power balance, reset the keep alive memory, which we already saw in one of those other menus, and transmission range sensor. Of course, that's just special functions within the powertrain control module. There may be special functions in other modules also. Go to live data. Let's just look at some live data to show that on this tool. So it's just a long list of all the live data that can be found here. But we can, just for example, let's pick, just for example, let's look at that. We selected one, we hit custom. Now there's the one we picked, and we can click here, and it will graph. Of course, it's not changing much, but it would graph the pressure in the high side of the AC system there. Now the clutch must have turned off. It's dropping down. Clutch turned back on. Pressure's going back up. This car's got a few little issues with it. I bought it, I knew it needed some work. In fact, I got to throw a shout out to Chuck from the Panzer platform YouTube channel. He's been helping me out with information on how to get a drive cycle to run for the evap monitor, which I'm probably going to make a video on that here. I got a couple other videos that are going to come after this one, but I'll probably make a drive cycle video using this scan tool, or maybe another one. We'll see. And see if we can get that evap monitor to run. Let's go back to, we'll go to the ABS system. And of course we can do live data in this module just like any of the other modules. Go back, we'll see what special functions is. We got this, okay. ABS bleed. Actuation tests. On here's where you control all the individual dump valves and isolation valves. Okay. Alright, we'll go back. And now let's do an automatic scan on this car just for fun. I know there's going to be a few codes because I use the 4Scan software to turn off the TPMS light on the dashboard. It didn't turn off the TPMS system, it just turned off the light because I put new wheels and tires on this car, and these wheels, they're just stock steel wheels from Ford. These wheels do not have TPMS sensors in them, so I just turned the light off. Let's go into this control module, lighting control module. If you can hear this car kind of rumbling in the background, when I bought the car, it was a couple hours west of my house. I get out there to go look at it, and I knew it had some problems, but the guy on the phone told me, he says, yeah, he said somebody welded new exhaust on it. Okay. Well, when I got out there, new exhaust meant that somebody had put glass packs on it, which isn't my thing, but anyway, I haven't had a chance to change those out. So it's got a little bit of a rumble at idle, but not too bad. If we go to this special function, and we go down to ECU configuration, let's check that out. Ford US, automatic detection. Okay. Programmable parameter. Okay, we saw that. We saw that in the other menu. And then there's vehicle information. So that didn't give us much different information than we already had. The scan tool is pretty slick. It pretty much will control anything that your car will allow. There's nothing really that either of my vehicles are capable of doing that this scan tool isn't. This will control anything that the car is capable of having a scan tool control. So if you're looking for a device that's capable of DoIP and something that'll be a little future-proof for the new technology coming down the road, that and the relatively new CAN FD protocol, this scan tool might be what you're looking for. It's pretty slick. There's the D9 and the D9 Pro. Most of the high-end scan tools that I know of, that I've seen, usually only come with 1 year free updates. So this is a high-end scan tool, future-proofed for the newer protocols with 3 years of free updates. Put this one on your list. It's definitely worth checking out. And also, if you're price shopping around between all the different scan tools, keep in mind the number of free updates, or the number of years of free updates. Consider that in your price shopping. Put down in the comment section below if you have any questions or comments. I'd like to hear from you. But that's all I have for now. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.